It was just another spring afternoon in San Francisco, the kind where the fog rolled in like a whisper over the hills, and the sun wavered behind its veil of silver, high above the bay. In a polished glass tower in the heart of Soma, venture, capitalist Isaac Rourke leaned back in his ergonomic chair, sipping cold brew and scanning the pitch deck on his laptop. He was alone in his office, also he thought. That's when the soft voice of a little girl shattered the silence. "Drone, over your laptop," she murmured. Isaac turned his head slowly, blinking. A child, no older than 7, stood barefoot on his Persian rug. Her tangled hair was the color of honey. Her dress wrinkled and stained with what looked like chocolate, or dirt, or both. Her green eyes were wide with a calm urgency. He blinked again. "What are you?" But then he saw it, through the floor-to-ceiling window. A black, beetle-shaped drone hovered, barely making a sound. No bigger than a grapefruit, it tilted downward, its lens trained directly at his MacBook. Isaac dove forward, slamming the laptop shut. The drone flinched, as though startled, and zipped upward, disappearing into the fog. The little girl had already turned round and walked to the door. "Hey, wait," he called, chasing after her. He flung the door open just in time to see the empty hallway. No girl. No footsteps. Nothing. Isaac wasn't a man prone to panic at 38. He had invested in over 24 startups, survived to market crashes, and turned his boutique VC firm, Parallax Ventures, into a respected name in AI, biotech, and data security. But that girl's voice haunted him. Her presence didn't feel like a hallucination. It felt real. Too real. He opened his laptop again. Nothing obvious was missing, but something felt off. He checked the webcam logs. One showed 14 seconds of unrequested access. He traced the source, spoofed IP, East Berlin. He froze 3 months ago. His firm had quietly begun backing a startup called Zridian, a stealth mode data encryption company that promised quantum-resistant algorithms. Only a handful of people knew about it. If someone got access to Zridian's protocol draft, he didn't wait. He grabbed his jacket and rushed out, dialing someone he hadn't spoken to in years. 30 minutes later, he sat in a booth at a half-forgotten jazz bar near Market Street. Across from him was Maya Kim, a freelance threat analyst with a background in counter-cyber espionage. They dated once. The breakup hadn't been pretty, but if anyone could dig into what he suspected, it was her. "A girl told you," she said, raising a brow. 7 years old, barefoot, materialized like a ghost. "I know it sounds crazy. It is crazy." And yet, she slid her tablet round. A photo was open, a blurry frame from a parking garage security feed. It showed the same girl. "That's from 2 nights ago, downtown, right before someone broke into a law firm that represents a defense tech startup. Guess what was stolen? Drone firmware." Isaac stared at the screen. What the hell is going on? Within 48 hours, everything unraveled. Maya traced the drone signal relay path. It had jumped off multiple networks, but ultimately pinged a final data sync, an old server warehouse in Oakland, listed under a shell company. Isaac and Maya drove there at 2 a.m., with nothing but flashlights and suppressed adrenaline. The building was half abandoned. Inside, the hum of machines echoed like breathing in a crypt. They found the surveillance room, and they found more than they bargained for. A wall of screens showed various tech companies, including Isaac's from the inside. Offices, private homes, boardrooms, dozens of mini drones feeding footage back in real time. At the heart of it all, encrypted files marked with a sigil neither of them recognized. A looping Ouroboros with eyes, Maya decrypted the most recent file. "It's not just corporate espionage," she whispered. "It's manipulation. They're stealing R&D, but also feeding false data into decision loops. They're guiding market directions by altering tech output. These people are creating fake failures and fake trends. Imagine if someone made you believe your product was obsolete before it even launched." Isaac stared at a screen showing a prototype from Zeridian, and a fake memo predicting its crash. "They're rewriting the future," he said, but the worst part came next. As they backed up the data and prepared to leave, the lights cut out. A low, mechanical whine echoed from the far corridor. The same beetle-like drones swarmed in, their red eyes glowing like angry fireflies. Maya pulled Isaac into a servo rack tunnel. "We don't have time," she hissed. "They know we're here. I'm not leaving without this," he said, jamming the backup drive into his pocket. They made it to the fire exit. Barely. Maya's arm was grazed by one of the drone's retractable stingers. The thing injected code, not venom. Her smart watch began vibrating. Corrupted, Isaac smashed it with a brick outside. Breathless and shaking, they made it to his car, and in the back seat, the girl was waiting. "You saw too much," she said softly. Isaac swerved off the road in shock. The car screeched, barely stopping before hitting a mailbox. Maya turned, her lips parted. "I've seen her before. She was on a case I worked in Prague, but she didn't age." The girl tilted her head. "I'm not what you think," she said. "I'm not a ghost. I'm not human. I was made by the ones who built this network. But I broke away." "Why?" Isaac asked. "Because you were meant to change something, and they're afraid of that." She handed him a silver key, physical, old-fashioned, and heavy. "Use this, Zurich. Locker 112. There's more." Then she vanished. Literally. One blink, and she was gone. No open door, no sound. Just a lingering static scent. 3 days later, in Zurich, Isaac opened locker 112. Inside, a single hard drive, old and dusty, labeled simply Protocol Skyfall. It contained everything: the origin of the AI espionage program, code snippets that proved the manipulation of market trends for over a decade, and a list of names, executives, politicians. A few media moguls, and a single note. It ends with, "Fire or truth. Choose wisely." What followed was not a movie-style showdown. There were no guns, no explosions, just a careful, methodical leak to journalists, whistleblower protection agencies, and a worldwide coalition of ethical technologists. Isaac risked everything. But the moment the truth hit, real truth, backed by unbreakable proof, the empire, built on lies, began to collapse. Stock markets staggered. Executives resigned. Some were arrested. The surveillance network was dismantled. The girl, if she ever existed, was never seen again. But Isaac kept the silver key. And whenever he opened a new laptop, he glanced up first, just to be sure.